Hey, what's like good, bro? Bro, you ain't subscribed yet? Man, look at this guy, man. You ain't right, man. Press the button. Press the button.
They'll say things take time, and that gives them an excuse to do it longer. So you believe you're Israelites, right? So you may believe it, but if your actions are not there, it doesn't matter too. Okay, so when you're smoking, doing different things that you shouldn't be doing, what are you teaching other people?
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. When you're smoking the vapes or whatever it is that you're doing that's against God, you're showing somebody either a good or a bad example, right? We don't. If y'all see this as a serious thing, y'all gotta move seriously. What are y'all taking from this so far? John and Rico. What's your name?
Rico.
Say it again? KD. I know you just got here, but what do y'all get from this so far? You say here, Jerry.
Follow by the Most High. You will be okay. When you pick up that book, you might learn to get the answer you're looking for.
So what have y'all learned today?
It ain't gonna happen overnight. You feel me?
It ain't gonna happen overnight. Okay. But is there some things that you can change right now?
Yeah.
Tell me one thing you can change right now. That's it right there. Both of y'all got it, right?
No, this is his.
That's his? Throw his shit in the trash. That's yours? I give it back to him. He throw it away. Throw that boy away, man. I've been watching y'all smoking. It's pissing me off. To be honest with you. We can't be. If y'all see this as a serious thing, y'all gotta move seriously. It's wrapped up for the brother. That's what the Lord's looking for. He's looking for obedience. Was that hard? Is your life gonna be messed up if you go home without that? Not at all. Not at all. Y'all gotta understand that. Even something as simple as vaping. Y'all smoke weed, I'm assuming? Y'all smoke weed, y'all doing any other drugs? No? So these are things.
You're still dying. Cut that shit.
Okay.
We here with you. Like we here with you.
I got you. Go to Sirach chapter 5, start at verse 2.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 5 and verse 2. Follow not thy own mind and thy strength.
So one thing you said a second ago, you said that it takes time. It does take time, but sometimes what our people do, I've done it myself, is they'll say things take time, and that gives them an excuse to do it longer. Throwing that vape away. It doesn't take time. It's 2 seconds. Throw it away. When you go to the store, don't buy it again. Because when you're vaping, right? What do you show? How you say you're 22? How old are you? 22. How old are you? 22. About 22. Okay, so when you're smoking, doing different things that you shouldn't be doing, what are you teaching other people?
It's okay.
That it's okay. You may believe that you're a God. You may believe that you're an Israelite. Y'all believe y'all Israelites? Or y'all still kind of digesting it?
I believe for sure.
So you believe you're Israelites, right? So you may believe it, but if your actions are not there, it doesn't matter. So you may say, my name's John, but I'm an Israelite, or you're John, you're Rico, right? You say, I'm an Israelite, right? But your actions are not showing that you are. Your actions are showing that you're a nigga. So that's what I'm saying. When you're smoking the vapes or whatever it is that you're doing that's against God, you're showing somebody either a good or a bad example, right? Read on.
Follow not thine own mind and thy strength, to walk in the ways of thy heart.
So you can't do what you feel like you're supposed to do, right? Y'all are grown men at this point now, right? 22 years old, right? So that means that we're as men have control of themselves. Meaning they control their rod, they control their mind, they control their hands, they control their emotions. That's what men do, right? So as men, we understand that for me to be what does the Bible say it means to be a man? Do you know? My brother KD, what does the Bible say about what does it mean to be a man according to God? What do y'all say it means to be a man?
Stand up and take care of.
That's very vague. Because what I think I'm supposed to do versus what you think is completely different. Some dude, what I mean by that is some dudes, like we teach in the prisons, we teach in jails, and I've spoken to people that said, I sold drugs because that's the only thing I had to do. So him taking care of his business is selling drugs. Me is, it might be a 9 to 5, or he might be an entrepreneur. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's way of doing it is different, right?
Of course, next part.
Right. But we got to see what God says what it means to be a man. Because the brother brought out earlier, that rappers tell us that to be a man, you got to have a bunch of hoes, you got to have a bunch of money, you got to have nice cars, you got to be doing all that stuff, right? But that's not what it's supposed to be. Because you look at our people, right? They control it, but we buy into it. That's the issue. Have y'all seen the what's that movie called? Who Cloned Tyrone?
We were just talking
I figured y'all watched it because y'all was picking up on everything. I figured y'all watched. It's a very true movie. It's a very true
We
movie.
was walking before this. Yeah, like this shit. Like,
And that made it even better. And then y'all got up here, and now y'all it's clicking for y'all. That's a good thing. But read on.
And say not, who shall control me for my works? For the Lord will surely revenge thy pride.
Because he says, when you say who shall control me for my works, that means that who's going to judge me for what I do? Because like the brother brought out earlier, you could sleep with a woman and you couldn't get it. You don't get an STD. You don't get no type of disease. You don't get her pregnant. You think, I'm good. I can do it again. But did it 15 times, it never happened. Or you smoked weed and your stuff didn't get laced this time. But the dude across the street, his shit got laced. You see what I'm saying? So we cannot think that who's going to control us because God may put you in that position. Like the brother brought out about the guys who went into the liquor store. That could be y'all. Y'all could go to the liquor store tonight, and that could be you. You never know. That happened down the street from my house. That could have been me. I don't know that, but it's up to me to fix myself. Go ahead.
And say not, I have sinned, and what harm have happened unto me? For the Lord is long suffering. He will in no wise let thee go. Concerning propitiation, be not without fear to add sin unto sin. And say not, his mercy is great. He will be pacified for the multitude of my sins.
So y'all know what that means? He says, and say not, his mercy is great. He would be pacified for my mercies, my multitude of sins. You know what that means? Because a lot of people say that God's very merciful, right? He's long suffering. Why do we say that?
because he forgive our sins.
But why do as black folks, why do we harp on God's mercy so much? We don't talk about his judgment, but we talk about his mercy. Because we believe that no matter what we do, God's going to forgive us. Do y'all believe that?
I do believe that, but I'm intentionally do stuff just to say, oh, I'm going to be forgiven. Yeah, like, they don't be stuff like you. They don't just get hurt, stop those things. And that's just what I believe.
God does
I believe
forgive.
ain't no sin bigger than another. You ask me.
All sin is sin. But the point is, once you know something is wrong, you can't do it again. You see what I'm saying? Because I'm sure we all know that smoking weed, doing drugs, sleeping around is wrong, right? To some extent, we know it's wrong, right? So if we know it's wrong, the reason why we continue to do it is because we don't get judged for it. That's why we think God's merciful. He's gonna have mercy on me. That's not how it works, though. That's why you see people getting they drugs laced, and now they mess up for the rest of their life. They can't walk, they can't talk, they can't do nothing right because they're messed up in the head from the drugs.
Sometimes people can trip and talk themselves and saying shit. Sometimes I think that's God, for real. That's how I think.
What do you mean that's God?
Like say you see if somebody fuck up on the street, you think they fucked up talking to themselves. You never know what's going on in their head. It might somebody might be talking to them.
Those are demons.
Yeah.
Those are demons. That's what it is. Those are demons. All them people that you see, they're dealing with Satan. They're dealing with demons. Because you have somebody that's strung out on drugs, right? God did not ordain for you to be dealing with drugs, did he? No, that means that Satan is the one dealing with him, right? So that's what happens when you let your lust take over. When you don't deal like a man and you deal with your the things that you're supposed to deal with. So like vaping. If you don't start vaping, you go back to weed. You go to weed, you go to something heavy, and then something heavier, and then something heavier. And now you got somebody that's strung out on drugs. That's what happens. Look at the people in Highland Park. A lot of people in Highland Park are on drugs. Why do you think that is? Because of stuff that they're around. And they were never taught how to be disciplined. You guys grew up with fathers?
Yeah.
You say no?
Like,
Kinda, right? So a lot of times the discipline is taught by the father, right?
Right.
But a lot of us did not have fathers, so we weren't taught how to discipline ourselves properly. How to put away drugs, because the father might be selling drugs. You see what I'm saying? So everything that we have in our community is set up to keep us moving like boys, even though we're grown men. Read on.
And say not, his mercy is great. He will be pacified for the multitude of my sins. For mercy and wrath come from him.
So this is the point. He said mercy and wrath come from God. Meaning God can be merciful, but his wrath comes to those that do what? What would cause God to judge you? Sin. So he is merciful, but if you sin, God will have to deal with you some way, shape, or form. I can't tell you how he's going to do it, but he's still going to deal with you. Go ahead.
And his indignation resteth upon sinners.
What is indignation? It's anger. He said his anger rests upon sinners. Sinners are those that do what?
Yeah.
What is a sinner? Go to 1 John. All right, bro. KD? All right, you got a flyer?
Yeah, but I got
All right,
one.
check it
Y'all
out.
Be easy, man.
So, a sinner. A sinner is not just somebody that does bad things. It's very specific. Read 1 John 4:3 real quick.
This is the book of 1 John, chapter 3 and verse 4. Whosoever committeth sin, transgresseth also the law. For sin is the transgression of the law.
Y'all hear that? It says sin is a transgression of the breaking of God's law. So to be a sinner, that means you broke God's law. It's very specific. It's not just a bad thing. It's very specific. Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not steal. And many other things, right? So go back to Sirach 5.
Verse 7. Make no tarrying to turn to the Lord, and put not off from day to day.
So remember, he said make no tarrying. What does it mean to make no tarrying?
Terry?
To tarry means to wait. To make no tarrying, meaning don't take your time to turn to God. Go ahead.
And put not off from day to day.
Put not off from day to day. Meaning don't allow yourself to make the excuse. It takes time. Don't allow yourself to, I'll just tell you that now. Because I've done that. I'm 28 now. So back when I was younger, I would procrastinate. That's called procrastination. Procrastination that had you 22, you wake up and you're 30, and you're in the same damn spot. I'm telling you.
All right.
That's what happens. That's what I'm saying. Do not give yourself that excuse to say that it takes time. A lot of stuff that goes on can be cut off like that. That vape can be cut off like that. That woman that you're dealing with can be cut off just like that. If you ain't living with her, right, that means you can cut her off right there. She ain't paying your bills. You ain't got to worry about nothing. Go ahead.
For suddenly shall the wrath of the Lord come forth.
So if you put off from day to day, says suddenly, go ahead.
The wrath of the Lord shall come forth, and in thy security
So when you thought everything was good, you thought that you were getting away with your sins, what happens?
thou shalt be destroyed.
What does it mean if God destroys you? He gonna kill you. That's what that means. We think that God destroying somebody or judging somebody is basically you losing your job, your car broke down. No, God kills people. We got to keep that in mind. God, everybody that dies was ordained by God. When somebody gets shot, it's because God wanted that to happen.
Right.
Somebody gets hit by a car, God wanted that to happen.
Right.
When somebody gets cancer and dies, God wanted that to happen.
Bring it out.
So we got to keep that in mind that could be us. That's why it says make no tarrying. Don't wait. Go ahead.
For suddenly shall the wrath of the Lord come forth, and in thy security thou shalt be destroyed, and perish in the day of vengeance.
So even after you die on this earth, you ever heard of Judgment Day? I mean, God's going to bring you right on back and kill and destroy your soul. There's multiple deaths that we got to go through if we don't get this right. We got to get it right. It's not a hard thing, but if you have men around you that are trying to do what y'all are trying to do, y'all be all right. So that means that the people that you hang around got to change. If y'all want to make this a permanent change, something that lasts a long time, you got to cut off all those people that you used to deal with. I had a friend, when I came into this, I had friends that was doing things that I shouldn't be doing. I had to cut them off. If I didn't, I would be dealing with I wouldn't be right here doing what I'm doing now. Go to 1 Corinthians, my last scripture, 15 and 33. If I didn't cut them off, I'd be doing the same thing I was doing 9 years ago. I don't even know if I'd be here right now. You understand what I'm saying? Because I guarantee the people that you deal with vape, right? They smoke, they do drugs. I'm sure that's what happens. That's what they do. So if they're doing it, you're going to do the same thing eventually. Read that.
The book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 15 and verse 33. Be not deceived. Evil communications.
So he said evil communications. When you dealing with people that are doing things that's according to God's commandments, or even the music you listen to. What type of music y'all listen to? Rap. That means y'all got to cut that off. It said evil communications. Rap is evil communications. That's what that is. Go ahead.
Evil communications corrupt good manners.
It says it corrupts good manners. What does that mean?
Disturbs how you act.
You start acting as the music that you listen to.
I want that car. I want that thing.
Exactly.
You gonna want whatever.
Exactly. You want whatever. You start talking like that. You never talk like that. Now you talking like that because of the music you're listening to. You start acting that way because of the music you listen to. Just like in the movie that y'all watched. What's it called again? Right. They told. What was his name?
Certain frequency they can control.
What was his name?
Jamie Foxx.
Not Jamie Foxx. The other guy, Tyrone, but the other guy. I forgot his name. Fontaine, I think it was.
Yeah,
Fontaine. So Fontaine, he told that white man told Fontaine. He said, "We keep drug dealers and rappers in the community to keep y'all at the low. But those hoes come a dime a dozen. They don't care about the hoes. But the drug dealers and the rappers, we got to keep them there because those are the people that keep black people asleep. That music keeps you asleep. That's why they push it so heavy. You know, so you don't see any conscious rappers nowadays. You might have some people that sound good like J. Cole, but J. Cole still talk about fornication. He still talk about things that are not profitable for our people. That's why God says evil communications corrupt good manners. Read it again.
The book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 15 and verse 33. Be not deceived. Evil communications corrupt good manners. Awake to righteousness and sin not.
So God says we have to awake to righteousness, meaning that you guys have to understand there's things that you have to do, commandments that you have to keep, a way that you got to carry yourself. Because what you do today and tomorrow and the changes that you make is going to affect your brothers and sisters. You have brothers, you have sisters. It's going to affect them. It's going to show them a better way, a better example. Because if you grow up being a certain way, they know you to be the dude that smokes, that does this, dealing with all these women. You change yourself. Now you're married. Now you're working consistently. All these different things. You showing a good example according to God. They're gonna see that, and hopefully they'll change. But if you're moving a certain way, they're not gonna change. That's what happens. Go ahead.
Awake to righteousness and sin not. For some have not the knowledge of God. I speak this to your shame.
So some of us don't have the knowledge of God. So prior to this, y'all may not have known what you should or shouldn't do. But today, y'all learning a little bit of what you should and should not do. Girlfriends. Is that something that God wants you to have?
I have a girlfriend, just don't mess around, right? So do you have a girlfriend?
Go. Let's read. That's a great question. Question is, can you have a girlfriend? How many brothers out here got girlfriends? You got a girlfriend? You got a girlfriend? Hey, y'all got girlfriends?
Sir.
No? You got a girlfriend?
No, sir.
No, I don't know. Let's find out. Let's find out why. Let's find out why. He said, "You slow? His brother slow. What's going on?"
Sorry.
You all right, man. You all right. I like you, man. You good. So the question is, can we have girlfriends? Because look at it. If you have a girlfriend, right? That means that you're going to deal with that sister for some time, right? And what's going to happen if you don't like her?
So get to the curb, the boot.
You give her the boot, right? But I guarantee you slept with her. You did all these things to her that you did all this stuff with her. You drained. You dealt with her sexually. You spent money on her. All these different things, right? You kick her to the curb when you don't like her, and then get another girlfriend. You do the same thing, and do the same thing, and do the same thing, and do the same thing, right? You know, there's no difference between a girlfriend and a prostitute. It's not. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. With prostitutes, you're paying them to have sex, right? With a girlfriend, it's a longer relationship. There's money involved. There's sex involved. And when you don't like them no more, you kick them to the curb. You might go your whole life with 20 girlfriends and never get married. You see what I'm saying? And most of the time, the girl that you dealt with, other men dealt with. So you're just one time, just like you may have 30,
It's your girl, just your turn.
but you might have had 30 girlfriends, right?
Right?
But every single one of them
Slept one another.
already had other dudes they dealt with. So that means that this woman been ran through, but she's trying to find the right one. Is that? Do you think that's of God?
All girls are the same.
That's not of God. That's not of God. And us as men, we've been taught the wrong way of how to look at women. That's the thing. A lot of times we use women for sex and that's it. Or we use them to take care of us. Some men are like that. Either they use them to take care of them or they dealing with them for sex and that's it. But that's not how God said we're supposed to use them. Let's see what the Bible say about girlfriends.
This is the book of Hebrews, chapter 13 and verse 4. Marriage,
Girlfriends.
marriage,
Girlfriends.
marriage,
Jump offs.
marriage,
One night stands.
marriage
Marriage. Go ahead.
is honorable in all.
You say girlfriends are honorable? It did not. That means everything outside of that is not honorable, meaning God doesn't like it. But read on.
Marriage is honorable in all, and the bed undefiled.
So what does it mean, the bed undefiled? What does that mean? It means whatever you do in the bedroom with your wife or your husband is undefiled. Meaning there's nothing wrong with it, as long as it's within the laws of God. Because a lot of black folks like to do threesomes and all this other stuff. That's not of God. You and your wife, whatever y'all do, that's of God. That's okay. Nothing wrong with that. Go ahead.
But whoremongers and adulterers, God will judge.
So he said, who did he say he's going to judge? Read it again.
But whoremongers and adulterers.
What's a whoremonger?
Or
It's a man that sleeps around with a bunch of women. And some men will say, okay, I only slept with 2 women. He's still a whoremonger. God says he's going to judge those people.
so basically you a virgin. Your wife supposed to be the first person you had sex with.
It sure is. You're right.
Correct.
That's how it's supposed to be.
What is a nation? Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is men leading by example. Nation is women's support. Nation is children with role models.